to another stream, Never a Foul evening show. And as you can see, we have got 2 Christmas trees already up and running. So if you're feeling a bit glum, then you know when to look on that side of the screen, because that always gives you positive vibes. That's what I feel anyway. I feel like looking at Christmas trees, looking at the lights, looking at the setup, always gives me a feeling of that positivity. So guys, if you're feeling a bit low today, then have a look at the trees, look at the vibes they've got set up, man, and hopefully it can give you a bit of spirits for what's to come. But guys, make sure you do like the video, most importantly. Make sure you also subscribe if you're new. I'm cozy in my snooty. A gal's cozy with his Arsenal banner in the background. So please check out a gal's content as well down below. Gal, what are you saying, my brother?
I'm good, man. Just kicking it. It's been a good day. Just been sitting back, trying to put this kid to sleep, and been listening to some podcasts. How you guys been?
Yeah, that's not too bad, to be fair. Like, it's just, busy, work, come home, done a stream, then I had to get back to work, and then watch a bit of the darts, and then, I thought I'd just jump on.
Watch a bit of the darts, you know?
Yeah, darts. Hey, bro, Daps, I'm going to tell you, I've got a few man into it. Christmas, I'm going to tell you to put the darts on. I bet you get into it. Bad boy thing over
But now, the thing, I hear it. If you've, remember Ash Farmer?
All them lot,
all them lot. They're all into that darts. They go to the darts every single. Where is it? It's
Ali Pally.
Have you guys seen that thing on Twitter? The darts where they kept going 3 in a row. I never thought darts was entertaining until I seen that.
Yeah,
85.
Darts is class.
What are you saying?
What are you saying?
No, 120.
But what was that? Yeah, I'm too old for all you, man. There was this when I was a kid. There was this like, it's only a game, so and it was all about.
I know what you're on about, but
there's a guy in a red and white, and he had like this donkey or something that popped into the whenever they got like 180 and stuff. I'm gonna try and find what it was.
Mad.
There used to be a TV show all about darts, but like in the 80s, proper big game show. Yeah.
Listen, I think darts is a better sport than snooker. I don't know about you guys.
I play pool, to be fair, regularly. But I don't play snooker too much. I can watch sometimes, but occasionally. But I prefer darts, 100%. Yeah. But anyway, I know bullseye people, like you said in the comments as well.
Bullseye. That was it. It was called Bullseye. The show was called Bullseye. It was called Bullseye. That was it.
That's what. See the comments. You know what? That's what I love about YouTube comments. They always save you. They always come out like
Bullseye.
People.
I think the song I was singing was probably off a different game show, but there was a game show.
You got a city robe on? Yeah, you're wearing a city robe.
I call it a dressing gown because a robe's like I'm walking to the ring. It's just a dressing gown, and it's like what you wear when you've got out the bath and you're just chilling around your house.
A robe is a bit more like what them boxers are wearing in that Riyadh thing, which got announced today.
And have you seen? So obviously Steve's over in Riyadh for the Club World Cup.
Oh my god, it's the same week.
Bro, the final is on like the 22nd, I swear. Yeah.
Yeah, and the boxing's the 21st.
And you know who else is fighting on the undercard? Lyndon Arthur.
Oh my god, his boy, of course.
Bro, who he sponsors. So Steve's probably going to... Steve could be watching.
Bro, I'm not going to lie. He's fighting the best light heavyweight in the world, bro. That guy's number one. I'm not even saying like not just gas. He's number one.
Protocol, man. Big up
he beat Canelo. So that's going to be sick for Lyndon Arthur, bro.
Yeah, I messaged Steve, sent him the thing of the AJ and Wilder thing, and said, "Bro, you could watch City lift the trophy, then go to that." Did you see Wilder and AJ in the press conference?
Yeah, and did you see Jerome Miller winding up AJ as well?
What was Miller there?
Miller's fighting Dubois.
Hold on, Miller is in the one that I swear he got.
Bro, there's like 6 fights. Miller's fighting Dubois.
And
Miller was calling out AJ, and AJ's just sitting there like you can
tell it's early in the transfer window because these guys are hyped and excited still.
After this, I'm gonna send you the clip.
Oh, seen.
It's early in the international break. You guys are still happy. Look at this. By next week, you'll be sad.
You want to know something? Big up a gal in the panel. Love that. Big up MSCSC. Cass, what are you saying, man? Because let's get into the football talk. 162 of you here, guys. Make sure you smash the like button. We're going to start with Man United because obviously I was at work earlier, so I didn't get to hear what you said.
No more crisis?
On what's going on.
I didn't say nothing. I actually didn't say anything. I was actually saving it more for tonight. Earlier was more like Osman and who else was there exactly? I can't remember.
Trent and stuff.
My head is so far gone. I've never been so unfit. No, I've never been so unfit in my entire life. I finally know how it feels for people that have to wear a certain size top. Yeah, because boy, it's a long journey, boy. Fuck,
Especially when it sweats, I can imagine. Yeah,
I don't even sweat like that, man. That's I don't.
Yeah, nor do I, But I don't. But go on. Talk to me, like Man United today, World Cup. Richard Arnold's leaving at the end of the year. None of this end of the season stuff. End of the year. So that means what? He's got 6 weeks left in the job. That seems to be the game that Jim Ratcliffe or the Ineos partnership are going to be coming in to do. Are you what's your thoughts on it? Like, do you think that's the best? How I'm going to ask this is because obviously everyone's happy that Richard Arnold's going, right? But is this the biggest and best move he could have made as a first move, or do you feel like it's just a chess move to maybe please the fans? Like, what's your actual thoughts on it?
I mean, you need to get fans on side. It's as simple as that. And the first thing you need to do is start getting rid of people in and around the sporting structure where it's not been going right for, you know what? It's not been going right probably since the Tevez loan. Because people want to go really far. Remember, we had to loan Tevez and do a little dodgy thing or whatever happened, and then boom, he's out of club. It's been going on for a minute. People don't understand that. You know, from 2005, when you think of signings before 2005,
that's so real talk, you know.
Yeah, Van Nistelrooy, Roy Keane, any player that Man United wanted, yeah, you're mine.
No, but Cass, do you know how that's such a valid point? Because with the Tevez, because I know when we got Tevez off of you, yeah, it was because we had to buy him. Yeah, you get it? We had to buy him off his agent because his agent ultimately owned him. Whereas you, man, and I've never ever thought of it like that. But yeah, that the Glazers ultimately thought, oh, what? We can get a player without buying him. We can just loan him, right? And in hindsight, when you look at it, it's like that is Glazers down to a T, isn't it? They didn't want to own the guy. They're like, if we can have this player without paying for him, yeah, we'll have him.
The thing is, obviously, I don't really want to go into the narratives of Glazers right now because they're here to stay for the time being. So let's talk about what's going on now. It's just that right now you could legit say it's a new era at Manchester United because it is a big, massive overhaul. A lot of people thought that Ratcliffe wasn't going to get no sort of power. He's going to be a puppet, all this kind of stuff. When in reality he's richer than the guys that he owns the club with right now. And he's not going to be in there for the money, is it? He's not just going to have it. So yeah, you know what? You can boss me around. When the guy does, if you go look at his projects, he's the boss. Simple as that with obviously his partners. Richard Arnold's the first best move because he's the CEO and he's been there for a year, obviously of that sort of job, you could say. And obviously after Ed Woodward and whatnot.
And the relationship between them. Yeah, the fact that he's ultimately just Woodward Mark II.
And then obviously we've got an interim for now because we can't do nothing. Is the correct word? Correct me if I'm wrong. Ratified? Is that the correct word? Like the due diligence?
It's a word, but I'm trying to think what context it's in.
Me and Ty aren't clever enough for that shit.
No, it's a word, but it depends what context.
It's definitely a word, but I don't know what it means. We will say, comments, please, let us know.
They have to do that owner check thing that takes about 6 weeks.
Oh, okay.
That thing until they're ratified or whatever it's called. That's what I've seen.
Verified.
No. Ratified is the actual word.
Cash, you're the cleverest one out of all three of us.
Anyways, it's not the point.
No, I'm dissing myself, bro. How do you mean?
He doesn't actually have. From what I know, he doesn't actually have no power until he comes into the job fully. So the Glazers got rid of Arnold, and we all know that Murto's going as well. It's the new era at Man United. Whether you like it or
madness didn't last.
I need you guys to explain this to me. Go on. From my perspective, what is the difference between Ed Woodward being gone, John Murtough being gone, and now somebody else coming in? Because don't you have the same situation regardless? You just don't trust who's bringing them in?
No, it's people that don't actually care and are just not good at their jobs.
So what was Ed Woodward's when he came in? He was a money man, right?
Yeah, he's a banker. Yeah.
Okay, and then John Murtough, was he a football guy?
Yeah, he used to work
money man
for JP Morgan.
No, banker.
So whoever you guys bring in next, if he's another money person, wouldn't it be the same situation?
No, but it's not. It's going to be Jean-Claude Blanc. That's the next one. That's the permanent.
And is he a football guy?
He's a football guy. He's every guy. You know what? He's got a very interesting CV.
Film star.
You know, he's actually got a very interesting CV. People, if you want to do your background checks, go check what kind of bits and bobs he's been at a club. He's done many roles at different clubs, so it's not just been CEO like Juventus. He used to be a chairman of Juventus, PSG. You remember PSG finally got up and going.
General manager.
he got them up and going. The Zlatan Ibrahimovic's of the world started coming in. He started structuring it so they can go and do whatever they need to do. Not saying he was the director of football to go get these players, but he's the reason why PSG became the powerhouse that they did, obviously, when they spent a lot of money when they needed to. And then after that, he went to Ineos, and then Ineos, obviously, Mercedes, whatever, so forth. And even look at his previous CV before that, where he started with a small French club back in like 2001. And even then, if you go look at their history of part of the
Olympics.
Yeah. So I just think like it's good because it's finally someone that you could say he's got a CV for the role. How long has it been since we've been talking about Man United and positions and not having the right CV for a certain role? Whether you want to call it Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, whether you call it a scout not doing their correct jobs because this person is meant to be some sort of technical director. What the hell is Darren doing there anyway in way of form? You get what I mean? Why they haven't got CVs for the job? This is how much of a joke Man United.
It's what Neville said. Remember when Neville said, I think it's when Rio Ferdinand was being linked to a role at the club, and Neville said, listen, Ferdinand's my guy, but what has he done to warrant getting this job? What's his CV to get him this job at Manchester United Football Club? We need the best in, what is it everyone says, the best in...
best in class.
Best in class, like in every single element. And that is it. It's just no longer... The key is, Cass, the guy that you're bringing in, has he got any relationship with your Woodwards, with your Glazers, with them? Is it jobs for the boys again? Ultimately, if he's not connected to that side, if it comes out that he's drinking partners with fucking Woodward or drinking partners with, then okay. But ultimately, that's what you need, innit? You need separation. You need it to be ultimately start again with a new and best in class.
Like. Yeah, and this is what I think it's like though, because when you look at him, he was before Juve actually had won a league for a long time. He actually got in there. He was the one that was part of building the new stadium, which Juve have now got as well. Sorted out the wages, got rid of the big powerhouses that were on the bigger wages. When the year he left was the first year they had won the Serie A title. They went on and won it 9 years in a row. Then when he went to PSG, like Cass said, he had basically built them with the partnerships with the Jordan side of things and obviously building up the football side. So what I think what it is as well is that Ed Woodward was so big on the business side of things that he didn't have the footballing side. This guy's basically done both. So that's why I feel like it's more competent and I feel more comfortable with him coming in because he's going to come in, he's going to be CEO. But we know that he's done it at Juve, which at that time, Juve were going through a bad patch. It's not like they were just singing at the top. He had to get them from where they were back to the top. PSG, he's tried making them powerhouses in Europe. He has in terms of that commercial side. And yes, they made big signings, but they just didn't deliver on the pitch. And they've been knocked out of the Champions League in the quarterfinals. And that's been going on. And then now what's going to happen is that he's going to come in and be CEO, but then at least we're going to then get a sporting director that's going to then work alongside him. So at least it's going to be him and then the person below, which will be like a Paul Mitchell, for example, who would then be making the sporting decisions alongside him. But I think
I saw it wasn't a bang on Paul Mitchell. I saw
not like
Michael Edwards as well. There's two candidates. Actually, three. There's Dougie Freeman. Is it Friedman? Simon Friedman?
Yeah, Palace. I don't mind him. He'll bring Eze. But yeah, there is Dougie Freeman.
Is he a footballer?
Yeah, striker.
Yeah, he is, isn't he? Dougie Freeman. Is he big in the game now as far as a
he's the one at Crystal Palace bringing all them signings in. He's the guy.
The thing about Manchester United is you guys always have the money. It's always been about the lack of direction from the backroom staff. If you can get the direction from the backroom staff, that will be a major step forward.
But this is the big thing, Gal, because
and the trust that the club can get back with the ownership. That would be massive.
How I see it, right, is Ratcliffe has come in, right, and the truth is, I wanted the Qataris, right. That's done now. I wanted 100% takeover, but that's we've got to move on. We've got Jim Ratcliffe, and the thing is for me is how can Jim Ratcliffe make a big impact, right? The Glazers are staying. No matter what, Man United fans are watching, the Glazers are staying. As simple as that. Who's the second in charge? It's like you can't hit the king, so we'll hit the prince. The prince is Richard Arnold. So he's gone and hit the prince, and he said, yo, you're going, or, you're leaving. Basically, he doesn't want to get sacked, so he's basically said, I'm going to leave. And then it'll be probably John Murtagh after. So when you look at it, he's hit the second in charge.
The question is, does Joel Glazer have any power, any decision in it? Because I've seen it's not. It's going to be like, if he gets outvoted, he gets outvoted.
What percentage do they own?
Nothing.
They own nothing. Why are they there?
What do you mean? In terms of sporting control, you mean?
The Glazers, yeah.
Well, see, this is funny because me and Daps are talking about how much did they have? Did they give away 25% of their 69%?
I'm confused. I was thinking about this earlier. 25 or 60, or is it just 25 in general that they've got? I don't know. I keep getting
that's what this is where the details haven't come out, and for any Man United fans to see anything, and I still want to know where the Glazers go after, because they can't be staying at the club for that much longer. Surely,
if they have more than,
I think it'll probably be a 25 to. It'll be like the gradual process.
If they have more than 45%, still they still have control over the club.
Yeah, maybe.
At the end of the day, do you know what? He's hit the Prince. You can't hit the King because the Kings are staying in terms of the Glazers. You've hit the Prince and Richard Arnold, and you're going to come in and start building from scratch. That's how I look at it. You know what I mean? If you can't hit the man at the top, hit the second in charge, and that's what we've done. And hopefully,
why am I not excited though? Why am I not excited? Like, why
I'll tell you why. You still don't trust that there's been enough change because the Glazers are still in house, in my opinion. Yeah. That's what I look at it.
Yeah.
So until they fully leave. And they're completely detached from your club, you're still going to have a level of skepticism of whoever's in charge.
Spot on. I think the other thing, Cass, you really want to see is, because look, Cass, I said it earlier, and this is no disrespect to you guys, but Cass, you are quite a clever guy deep down. People, you might not believe it, but he is, yeah. And the fact you asked me that the other day about is it 25% or is it 25% of the 69 day, is because you want to know, how ultimately, if the Glazers are still pulling rank, because as long as the Glazers keep X percentage, they can still pull rank if they want to. But saying that, so far, you've got, look, for me, I want Glazers stay in 10 more years. And as long as they are there, Man United will never be back to the Manchester United that you know and love. Right? I honestly believe that, But I would also say that if their percentage is dropping, and you've got someone that is not associated to Woodward or the guy you're getting rid of, Arnold, then it's a step in the right direction. Because that's what you need. You need a breakaway. Look, you need direction.
We're getting someone that actually knows how to work with a big football club.
You know what I saw the other day? I saw a clip the other day of Ralph Ragnick, like the interview and everything he said.
Spot on.
Bro, it's
open heart surgery in that.
Yeah, bro, it was so spot on. Yeah. And it's just like, one day I want to know, because I know United maybe tried to slightly make out it was Ten Hag that didn't want him there. But was it really, or really was it like the Glazers didn't want him there?
They pulled the chair from under him.
In it. Like they set up Ten Hag and said, we don't want to make out it's us. But he was ultimately saying to them, this is what you need to do. You're going to need to spend a lot of money. You're going to need to do this and that. And
Ralph, you're saying too many truths. We can't have that around here.
They didn't realise that is what he was going to do.
Let me just quickly run through the super chats. I'm going to let you come straight away. Just give a few there. Big up everyone that's watching. Make sure you do smash the like as well. Like I said there, big up Agal and the panel as well. Big up MCSC protocol. Off topic, has Ruben Diaz surpassed Van Dijk? I can start that one and we can touch on it and in a bit, which is not a problem. Bit of a random one actually. Honesty as well says Everton set to face 12 points deduction due to FFP violation, and CSC cheating files have been leaked. They also might get points deducted. I haven't seen nothing on the Chelsea one.
No, I've seen it, but this point deduction thing. Do you know what? We were having a chat in the Never a Foul group chat earlier, and I think Olu pointed out that in the history of the Premier League, only Middlesbrough and Portsmouth have actually received point deductions, right? And in hindsight, I feel sorry for them, because I think it was like one of them was for Ollie said again that it was for not having enough players. Yeah, so it probably would have been Portsmouth. You remember when Portsmouth, basically, because they're such a small club where they don't generate enough money, and they had some absolute ballers, and the wages were way too high, and they couldn't pay them all. But I think in hindsight, that's so harsh, because they didn't have enough players. We're going to make you suffer even more by taking some points off of you.
No, they couldn't pay their players. That was the issue.
But I this point deduction thing, it's like at the moment you keep seeing these threats of point deductions, and when's the last time in the Premier League we saw point deductions?
Not a threat.
Yeah,
what's going to happen?
But Igal, when you say it's not a threat, it's going to happen. Like, you're saying that based on what? Because I'm saying I don't think it will, because in the history of the Premier League, we really haven't seen it happen that much. But in the last year, we've probably seen 4 clubs threatened with point deductions, and I don't think it will happen.
The thing is, Everton, if they don't fight it and they go get the points deduction, they're actually better off in my opinion, because right now the teams that are actually at the bottom of the table, they're not that good. So they could get a 12-point deduction and only be like 8 points off getting out of the bottom. Where if they were to stay where they are, they would have 14 points and they'd be nowhere near it. So my point is they could get out of the hole in 2 months. They could be by December, by January.
It's not like because the other teams are so low. Your bottom four standard is poor.
And this is so the Everton one. The Everton one's from the COVID season, isn't it?
They're lucky.
Oh, is that when it's from? Okay.
Yeah, they're lucky. They're lucky that they have a situation where Luton have been terrible, Burnley have been terrible, and Sheffield United have been terrible. Because if those teams weren't this bad, it would be a lot more. It would be a lot more difficult for them to get out of this situation.
Apparently, it's happening this week as well. By the way.
Well, we'll see.
I don't think they're getting relegated
interested
anymore.
if they do. I'll be honest, because I mean, it is a big precedence. Because, like I said, if I'm saying Middlesbrough and Portsmouth, we're thinking that's quite a few years ago now. So there hasn't been a point deduction for a long, long time. With everything that's going on at the moment, yes, with my club, yes, with Chelsea, if they set a precedence to give Everton a point deduction, then it is a bit of, we're being fair. We're not just targeting this club, that club. So we'll see, man. We'll see. But I can't see it happening.
I think money talks. And I think Man City will put somebody to court. Chelsea, they've self-snitched on themselves. So they're not going to get in trouble because they basically openly told the bodies that this is what was happening at the club previously. We don't want to get in trouble for it. Here's the information. So because
that's a bit harsh, then fucking hell, that's a bit harsh. The new owners get punished for that.
Yeah, because Chelsea are self-snitching.
New stadium next year as well.
Yeah, so because Chelsea are self-snitching on themselves for what happened for the previous owner, they're not going to get as harshly punished. Man City situation, honestly, I don't think that's ever going to get resolved. It's going to go to court for years, and at the end of it, it's just going to come to a conclusion where it's like we don't have enough evidence.
Yeah, give us 10 million quid, though, dude.
I agree with you. All right, guys, quick, make sure you're liking the video, people. I just see the numbers jump up to over 300. So, guys, please make sure you're smashing a like on the video. Make sure you subscribe if you're new. If you don't hit that thumbs up, please just cross off your live chat and you'll see if your farm ain't lit. Please make sure you do that. Before we move on and talk about Spurs, Cass, I wanted to ask you a question, actually. I was on Saeed's show earlier, and we were like looking at it. So when Ratcliffe gets announced and he comes in, say starting from the new year, Jean-Claude Blanc comes in. How long are you giving this? How long are you giving this process? Like a couple of years? Are you giving it 4 years, 5 years? Like,
wait. There's no giving. It's not about how much I'm going to give. He's here to stay, G. So if it works or he fails, he's here to stay, and I got no word to say about it.
And who's this?
What you mean, Jim Ratcliffe and that?
No. Yes, I'm saying that with the process of Man United being like getting back successful and getting that pattern going. And are you giving it 2 years, 3 years? Or are you giving it?
No. I can't lie. I think a decent January window with the correct I think you only need 2 signings, right? But I think 2 signings will be all right. No, but hear me out. 2 signings can boost the whole 11. In the summer, I'm gonna give it personally 2 summers. That's it. No more than that. Because if we're gonna really big up what
18 months. Yeah, okay, cool.
If we're gonna big up what Ragnick said and keep going back to that same situation, even he said it doesn't take 2, 3, 4 years. It can be done in 12 months. It can be done. If the right people are in charge, the right people will go and the right people will come in. And it's as simple as that. Like the Man United, like look, we've been without Luke Shaw, we've been without Lissandro. That's a lot for our build up in the back. You need someone that's going to be a Varane type prototype that used to be a far centre back, so you can enable the high line, so you can enable the press. It's just certain profiles. And you know what it is? Then once you do that, then you can start really shifting your eyes to the manager, because bro, you've got a new structure, you've got a new board, you've got a whole brand new recruitment and process. They're going to ask for a certain style of play. That's when it's going to come down to Ten Hag. Believe it or not, whether you like Ten Hag or not, he's here to stay till the end of the season, whether you like it or not, unless he does really bad. Yeah. So I think I want Tadibo. That's the first sign I want through the door. We've got Nice now as a feeder club, which I love, because we can put loanees over there, a couple of them at that. And we can feed off of them and go buy the players that we want there. There's a few names. There's a couple young ballers coming out from there. So I'll be interested. So finally, all of a sudden, we've got about 1, 2, I think we've got 3 feeder clubs. Like, I know Lausanne Sports ain't doing the greatest. They're not the greatest over in Switzerland, but it's still someone that you can put over alone there to get some experience in men's football. So I don't mind the structure. What have we been saying all along? What have I said to you all along as well, Daps?
I just heard men's football and thought of Don.
Yeah. back in Brazil, innit? The only thing I've ever wanted, don't get me wrong, everyone wanted the Qatari money. But right now, Ratcliffe is putting the right moves in the right place the way I wanted it. We've all been screaming for a proper director of football. We've all been screaming for someone upstairs that know what they're doing and footballing people. I would like to see some of the legends get back involved. After Sir Bobby Charlton now is the ambassador that's out, I would like to see some old names come back in and actually involve with the club.
Can we clarify that? When you say you want to see some of the older generation getting back involved, you're meaning on an ambassador level, right?
Yeah.
You don't want like.
The thing is, people need to understand this. This is what I think Newcastle.
There's nothing wrong with having club DNA.
Yeah, but you know, it's
100%, bro. No, every club needs it.
Newcastle, Man City got this thing, and I think Arsenal got a couple of their players now. I think they're starting to do it now. But Man City got old play like Onawa and all them players, Jolie and Lescott. They got people that are connecting with the fans, that connect with the board. So all of a sudden, you've got a connection. Look at Newcastle with Les Ferdinand and all them kind of players back then. And it's just proper club DNA that is needed in today's modern society of building a proper relationship with the fans.
With the fans, though.
It's such a disconnect. And if you're going to get a relationship with the fans, and all of a sudden, oh my God, the stadium's 10 times louder. Go on then.
No, you're spot on. With the connection with the fans is something that's massive. You have to stay connected to the fans because it's very football is a global sport and all of our clubs are global now, right? But you have to remember where you started. You have to remember, the game going fans, and because they are the ones at the ground, they are the ones making the noise, and whether people like to admit it or not, the noise in the stadium does impact what happens on the pitch. So you're spot on with that, Cass. Spot on.
I will know things have dramatically changed at Manchester United when I start seeing facilities being improved, when I start seeing the stadium being improved, when I start seeing financial things being done that will not see the return right away, but will be done in the long term. Because from the Glazers' perspective, they haven't actually done the infrastructural changes needed to improve your club.
Think of it like this. I think the facilities will be done first because it's easier to do. That's why you see that Brailsford going over there twice and checking it out. But do you think my man, who's only got 25% control, is he going to go fund a whole new stadium when he's only got 25% control of sporting, when he doesn't have no commercial side of it? No, that's another deal that's got to be worked out.
So I'll be real with you. I don't think Manchester United need a new stadium. Right?
Just renovate.
We had this conversation. Like, bro,
they need refurbishment.
Bro, it is Old Trafford. It is like, let's be real. It is called the Theatre of Dreams. Like, the thing is, I remember, right? I'm that old that I remember when you extended and put a new tier on, then a new tier opposite, then a new tier there, and a new tier there, and the beauty is that you've been able to do that because of your location. Your location is key. Does it need renovating? Oh, yeah, it needs renovating. But listen, there's houses out here that are hundreds of years old that are some of the most beautiful houses. But inside they look modern. Inside they've got all the latest gadgets. Inside they're not leaking. They're not falling apart. You just need to renovate it big time. You need to renovate. Bro, Luton have just done that. Luton have just renovated. Like, you need to renovate big time. I don't think you need or want a new stadium because ultimately, if you get a new stadium, you need to understand it will take you a good couple of years to get that atmosphere back. Yeah. Because the minute you move to a new stadium, there's no longer a Stretford end. People go in that stand and that stand and that stand. And it takes seasons for fans to work out where the louder fans are and them all to regroup and get round to them and start making the noise again. And then there's making
a little bit of changes. I went to the game on the weekend. I had Wi-Fi. I could actually check my phone and get signal. You know how mad it was? It felt like a celebration.
True. Kaz said something that makes me think. You just drew a comparison to what's going on at your club right now to what happened with us with Usmanov and Kroenke. You have two people who own it, and one might not be able to go fully all the way in because he's not going to see the full return on investment. That's what you're worried about, Kaz.
Yeah, the thing is, there's no point putting there's no point putting billions in the club if you're not going to get more piece of the pie. And to be fair, from what I read up, because if people want to actually do reading up on credit stuff and whatever, dividends, all of that, Joel Glazer is at his last end. He can't, even after Jim Ratcliffe stuff, he can't even pay out no more dividends and all that kind of stuff. With the credit, he's up to his neck, G. That's the thing. People don't understand this. He can't do none of that. So that indicates, that's only an indication. It's not a fact. It's an indication that Glazers will have to, regardless, even with all the 1.5,
they will go.
That 1.3, whatever it is, billion, they have to share that between like 10 of them or whatever it is. So they're going to want more, by the way, eventually. So that's what I need. Look, obviously, not everyone here wants to hear about Man United, and it's not a Man United channel, but I need to know what is the process going forward. I need a proper statement.
That's what I think will come out in the next week or two. I think it'll be clearer then to us than as fans, because the big thing is, what I want before we go on to Spurs is I want the new board or Ratcliffe, whatever it is, to be transparent. So us fans are not guessing or second guessing what's going on. Look at Newcastle 18 months ago, bottom of the table or whatever it was. And then they get the new ownership in, they come in, they be transparent, they speak with the fans. And then look, in 18 months, look where they are, competing in the top 8, top 6, top 4, even from last year. So when you look at it, sometimes it can just take the smallest details of communication being clear for things to be better. And this is not even just talking about football. This can be in a normal working practice. I work for a big company with like loads of different umbrellas under them. But as long as the communication
at least we don't
100% communication.
That's all I care about. That's going to go into the Ineos, whatever, fling it under.
And they will go. The Glazers will eventually be gone, 100%. But do you know what? With the Radcliffe so far, like me and Cass agreed, they've hit the Prince at the moment. That's all they can hit so far. And hopefully it starts filtering down and we get a proper footballing person in board. But for someone who wants footballing people in board, Spurs have got Daniel Levy.
Jim will fix it for you. Don't worry. Jim will fix it for you.
Jim will fix it.
Well, so far he is.
Do you know what? Someone texted me earlier saying I didn't know Jim Chapscliffe was on a Mandem talk. Jim Chapscliffe. But guys, make sure you're liking the video, by the way, and subscribing as well. It's a Wednesday night. Obviously, Thursday's coming up and heading into the weekend, so please make sure you're supporting the channel.
Thursday already.
Yeah, Thursday already. Oh, but Spurs, some news on Spurs then. So the season they've had, positive start to the season. What was that? Raw. Sorry, Jim. Stop trying to hack my internet. But Tottenham, the news is that they're not going to spend a gal. Now I'm going to come to you
come
first.
out? Is that actual? This isn't a title. That is actual news.
Wait. What? Are we surprised?
No, we're not.
Yeah, we're not. Yeah, Gal, I'll let you run. You're their rivals. I'll let you see your thoughts.
Look at those teeth. Look how happy he is.
He's smiling.
Listen, there's no surprise. There's no surprise. We knew this was. We already knew this. Tottenham do not have the ambition to go any further than what they are, which is a team that just tries to get back into Champions League and has no ambition to win the league, has no ambition to go and get the players needed or to pay the wages needed to compete for major trophies. They just want to be in and amongst the pack and stay in and amongst the pack as one of the top teams in the league.
So is Ange going to accept that the Gal playing Devil's advocate?
What?
Would Ange accept that? I'm talking about Ange. Never lost at home, by the way.
I think
league at Celtic. Is he going to accept that as a manager?
Listen, you have no choice. As a situation where you had Jose Mourinho, you had all these other people.
True.
There's going to come a point where you're going to see that there's limitations to a club based on what the ownership and the parameters they live by. You have Joe Lewis and you have Daniel Levy, who basically run the ship as let's get the best out of this team and let's make the most money possible and let's continue to push this brand, push the stadium. They care more about the stadium winning awards than they do the team. That's the reality. If they were serious about pushing this team forward, they would have signed a striker to replace Harry Kane. And even if they didn't get him in the summer, they would have that money ready to spend in January to bring in more reinforcements. That Tottenham team, their squad depth is nowhere near where it needs to be. They lose 1-2 players in the midfield or the defense. They fall apart. And I'm not surprised that Daniel Levy has already come out and said that there's no money to spend in January because he wants to lower the fans' expectations.
Something to do with Enoch or something. You know the guy over in America?
Enoch's the main guy. Yeah.
I wonder if it's got something to do with that, perhaps, because what I was reading up from Fabrizio, he said he doesn't expect Tottenham to spend crazy in January like they have done previous. When we talk about crazy, they're sort of crazy, right?
Crazy.
Their crazy was too. I think this is PR.
Maybe, but this is. Because what I saw
they've got the perfect PR
apparently what was said is that they are happy with the balance of their squad at the moment.
Ooh.
Now if I'm a Spurs fan,
I am with the injuries they've got right now, you're fuming, bro. But you know what it is, Cass? You know what it is, though? They've got the perfect PR in their manager. He'll just come out and go, "It is what it is, mate." You know. When I was young, right? We didn't always get to buy what we wanted. It is what it is. I mean, I'm old school. Bro, we'll just do it. The fans will go, we love him. We love him. Yes, old school.
That was a good impression. Do
you know what? The interesting thing for me, is with Ange. I don't feel like he's ever worked with a big budget. So if they're going to have a manager that is going to have to work to a tight budget, I would actually want someone like Ange in charge, because I do feel like he's the type of manager that can coach these players and make them better. So for me, he might accept that, okay, I'm not going to be able to spend the big money. But if I was Ange, I see them linked to, for example, there's a Feyenoord striker right there called Santiago Gimenez at the moment. And he's been banging in the league at the moment. He's been quite well in the Champions League. He's going to be a striker that will probably cost him like a 40 million. We know that Tottenham Football Club would spend that money on a striker. Now, I know people might be out there saying, you know, they want to spend 80, 90 million and go and get a big boy striker in. The striker market's poor, if I'm honest, actually, in the world right now. So if you're going to go and get someone like 45 million Santiago Gimenez from Feyenoord, that could be a shrewd move, because Tottenham don't like to buy top of the top players. They like to get players they can mold and make better.
Is it a Danish guy or Norwegian guy, Anthony Nussar?
Antonio Nusi, yeah, and he plays for Club Brugge. So
but see,
he's another one. Pedro Neto. I always said they wanted a big money, 60 million.
I think with Ange, and obviously
Pedro Neto, that would be an interesting signing for them, you know.
With the director of football and stuff, I wonder if Tottenham are going to continue this wave of doing shrewd business rather than the major business. They'll go spend 40 million, but they can get maybe 2 or 3 players that they can develop. I don't know what. See, the thing is, what we don't know with Spurs, I don't know. I don't think no one knows is what is their strategy. Like, what's the complete strategy right now? Yeah. Are you trying to get players now that are kind of going to fit in right now, or do you want to develop them? And is it a project for the next 3 years? Like,
I think it's the project. Because look at Brennan Johnson. That's 45 million on Brennan Johnson. That's a project.
I want to know. What is the actual target? What is the actual target?
That's the thing. Forget the project. I think that's the key. Is what is their target? And when you look at their target
is to sustain what they are.
Right, so, and that's what I believe personally. Because again, unless Levy comes out, or someone and win a couple, and win cups. Look, unless someone comes out, hold on, unless someone comes out, from Tottenham and says, look, we have, because to be fair, look at Arsenal, for example. Arsenal did it the right way. They went and paid off their stadium. And I remember saying before the summer, when people were saying Arsenal weren't going to spend, I said, look, you're going by Arsenal when they were trying to pay off the stadium, right? Arsenal are now back in a position where they can challenge again. But now they've got all their debts paid off. They can spend again. And the truth is, they've been spending, right? So we know Arsenal's ambition is to challenge. That's their long-term, and not just to challenge, it's to challenge, win, and hopefully win more than they did before, retain, do doubles, do trebles, win a Champions League, whatever else, right? With Tottenham, until you hear that statement, we have to go by what we've seen from Daniel Levy over the years. What we've seen by Daniel Levy over the years is a very shrewd, very smart, very successful businessman, right? Now, at the moment, if you look at it, where they are in the league, and you look at how much they spent in the summer, and if you look at, why would he change that model? He's a businessman, and at the moment, he's in a good position in the league, probably higher than he expects to be by not spending money. So he'll be thinking, right, this model works. Conte wanted to spend money. That model didn't work. This model right now is working for us. So I kind of get it. And again, so if you look at the players they bought in the summer, Van der Ven, O'Doggy, who else did they buy?
Technically, it was a January signing, technically, but he came
Brennan Johnson.
But how much? How much were they? They weren't. None of them were that.
Yeah, Brennan Johnson, Vicario, the goalkeeper.
So the thing is, they're still with that model, isn't they? For now,
you know, it's a myth that Tottenham don't spend money. They do spend money. They have spent money, but this time around they spent money.
They don't do the 100 millions, Cass. They do the 40.
Yeah, you know what it is? Basuma, the thing is, Basuma feels like a brand new sign. It's like this is the first time you've seen him on the Tottenham top. You got Vicario. What? Whoever scouted that man out? Because you know what? I watched him at Empoli. A few games, not loads of games, but a few games when they played against a couple, obviously AC Milan, Napoli, and stuff like that. Just things like on TV that just come on. He wasn't all that. And that maybe come down to a different defense. But now you got like a Van der Ven, you got
Pedro Porro is like a new signing.
As well. We question, can he play right back? Vicario, Maddison, Basuma, Brennan Johnson.
Maddison, of course. Yeah.
You know, I wrote off Brennan Johnson quite a bit, but I'm kind of interested to see where the development can go at the moment. Yeah. I'm still not totally convinced. He's never going to be elite. That's the thing. And then apart from that is, can he do it again? It's like Man United. They had a good season. Right, last year, can they do it again? It's like Tottenham. Okay, they've had a good window, but I've never known them have to have a couple good windows in a row because their next window is typically shit. Can they do it again? And that's another question. Will they do it again? What's the next targets? What do you want? What does Stevie really want to achieve? You know, what's the ambition? You know, and I think Madison's.
What do you
this
think
is
their
the
target was?
ambition.
You know, the interesting part for me is where their target was this year, because they made these signings. I don't know if they actually wanted to get top. Obviously, some of the fans would want to get top 4. I don't know if they're in the same situation as Man United, where they made a few signings because a new manager comes in, which you naturally would do. You'd make a few signings, but was it to get football? Because Man United fans and Spurs fans, I kind of feel like it's been a bit similar. We've had a few managers where the football's not been great. So the first thing the fans want to do is go back to Spurs, enjoying watching their football team. They're doing that right now with Ange, and it's been better than they expected. But did they just want better football first and to get back in Europe? Or was it to actually get top 4? Because no one was really talking about Spurs for top 4 until the start of the season. We've seen what they've been doing.
One second. Let me just say this. They are going to spend in January. It's just they're not going to spend.
Crazy.
Can you hear me? Yeah. They are going to spend in January, but it's going to be maybe like 45, 50 mil kind of thing, not like hundreds. You know what I mean? Then second of all, you asked about what's their ambition. Their ambition, yes, it is to sustain where they are, to be in and amongst the pack for the top 4 and one of the top teams in the league. But I do believe their long-term ambition would be that Daniel Levy stays, but one of the owners sell to like a Qatar or somebody who can actually boost the club into another stratosphere. Because until they have ownership change, I don't believe Tottenham will ever have the ambition.
So you feel like they're at the Man United stage?
I believe they're in a worse situation. I believe they're in a Mike Ashley Newcastle stage where that owner is just happy to be at that level. And anything below that level,
Mike Ashley, I'll be honest, yeah. Look, I think Glazers are just as bad as the next person, yeah, and I think they're awful. And Man United are lucky to generate a lot of money, but see, when it comes to a club that generates not as much money, Mike Ashley might be the worst owner of the worst I've ever seen.
No, but hear me out. They're basically Newcastle pre-Saudi Arabia in this situation where out of the top 6 teams, they have no ambition to win any trophies. They have no ambition to get over the hump. When they get close to something, they cut the manager's feet from under them. The players and everybody don't have an ideal goal. What is their goals? What is Tottenham's goals? I know it's their first season under a new manager. I'm not expecting them to go and win the league this season. But even under Poch, when they had a team that was one of the better teams in the league, they didn't do a transfer for over 2 seasons. You cannot tell me that this is a club that has ambitions to win anything. When they go to a Champions League final, they don't back the manager. When they have a team that's competing for the league, the second or third in the league, they don't go and make the signings they need to be going.
I've got one counter thing, yeah, is that was then and this is now, and things can change a lot in the last 5 years.
Bro,
that's what I was gonna say. Do you know what, Gal? I'm gonna come back to that as well, because I was gonna say that last year of Poch, I think they went 17 home games and 2 draws. They didn't lose in their last season before the season he left, of course. Got to the Champions League final, like you said. Then they were competing for the league. Didn't sign no one in January. Then they ended up finishing 3rd or 4th, whatever it was. But I feel like from that Pochettino stage where he is a manager I would kind of look at, like Ange, better football attacking, a proper philosophy. They've gone from a Nuno, who's a pragmatic. They've gone for Jose Mourinho, pragmatic, big boy name manager, needs money, success. That's what he brings, no matter what the football. And Antonio Conte, you have to back him the transfer window. You have to give him what he wants. They kind of deviated away from Poch and went to a different script. It hasn't worked. Maybe with Ange, they've gone back to what made them successful in the top 4, made them compete again. But remember, this is pre-COVID. Football has changed. So if they want to go to that next level like they did with the Poch side, if Ange is to do that, they're going to have to spend, because naturally the 15 millions back then are now 40 millions. So you're going to have to spend at some capacity anyway. But this is the thing. This is the same as United. This is where I kind of link a little bit of Spurs and United. It's a time will tell thing. You've got a new manager that's coming in at the moment. He's proven himself. How can he take them to the next level? You've got to back him. He's proven it. How do you get a pay rise? You do well, and then you get a pay rise.
I've got a question for Daps, yeah, because I've got my own theory in it. How many realistic signings does Spurs need this January? Honestly, from basing off their actual squad.
To do what?
To probably put pressure towards the top 4, you could say, or top 5.
All right, so not to win the league.
Of course not.
Yeah, right, just top 4. Say top 4. Go top 4.
Left back, centre back.
Don't think they need all that. I don't think they need all that.
Right, so they're definitely, for me, they need a centre back.
100%. 100%.
Centre back.
Could say a striker, maybe.
Do you know what? I'm not going to say left back. You know,
I don't think so either. I don't think
they only have one left back.
But that's fine. They're playing 1 game a week.
I'm going centre back, winger, striker.
I'm going to say for me personally, I'm going to say they just need 2. All they need is
2. I think 2. With the number of games they've got, yeah, then I think 2. I think 3 then But what you would say is when we're saying that, it would be 3 that you expect to come in and you want 100%. But if you say 2, if you're saying 2, you're definitely if you're saying 2, you're definitely saying 2 that you want 100% success rate.
Striker, centre back,
but they have to be successful. If you're signing 2, both has to be successful. If you're signing 3 or 4, and realistically, when does a club sign 2? When does every signing that a club makes bang instantly?
Oh yeah, the thing is, even
it doesn't happen.
It doesn't happen.
They're not going to sign a striker in January though.
Yeah, but the thing is, I think they'll need 2 signings. For me personally, I look at it like this, Ty, innit? They need a backup centre back that can fill in and do a good job to a good degree, and a striker. And I don't mean any striker, but I mean someone they can nurture a little bit. That's going to get games, because when someone comes off, they need someone they need a profile. The thing is, I don't think they need more
who can start some games with Son on the left. Yeah,
now,
they need
40, 50 minutes. Only budget they need.
They need I think the key would be if they were to get a winger that gets goals and is creative. Yeah?
I think Pedro Neto would be perfect for them.
Because you've got to think, look, the key is every club has players that are very important, yeah? Like Arsenal, for me, Declan Rice is already that guy, yeah? Declan Rice is so important. City, Rodri, yeah? You have more than one, but I think Maddison at Tottenham at the moment, without Maddison, I think they're going to feel the impact. So I think being without Maddison and being without Van der Ven, who has come in and has hit the ground running, I think they need to get, before a striker, I think getting another creative player is very important for them.
Yeah, they need something.
Very
They've got a lot of the same.
Because without Maddison,
like Basuma, Bentancur, Højbjerg, they're all a bit the same. Like they work hard and they do that stuff. But when they're looking back, creating chances, look at the Wolves game the other day. You could see it. They had a couple chances, but really they were missing that guile. And I also think players like
Maddison is pretty injury prone, isn't he? Maddison is pretty injury prone.
He does get a couple.
It's kind of gotten over it. I know this doesn't help this one, but he's going to be back soon anyways. Actually, no, he's not. He's not back till January.
He gets a couple that happens. But I just feel like Son and Johnson, they're going to be affected because now they know they can't stay further forward because they're not going to get the ball like they used to.
Well, actually, they might do. Bentancur, Papassar, and Basuma still sounds good to keep.
This is the most randomest take.
Go on.
This is the club that buys Rashford from you guys in the summer.
Rashford,
if you guys look to sell Rashford, Tottenham,
that is a random take.
It's a random take.
Hold on. What wages is Rashford on at the moment?
Surely Sancho would make more sense.
Bro, Tottenham didn't pay him no Rashford wages. Are you mad?
Okay, I didn't think about Rashford's wages. Obviously, he's gonna have to take a wage reduction.
Rashford is not taking Rashford take a wage reduction.
They give him a long-term contract. My thought process is if they could go and grab any player in the league that could go and work with Son and what they have, they need somebody on that left. And I think Rashford will work for them.
Yeah, but bro, Rashford is not taking a wage cut.
He's not taking a wage cut.
Sancho is also
I get the profile, but not.
Sancho is not going to Tottenham either. He's not taking a wage.
He won't. But if you gave me one of the two, Sancho would be definitely more on the move to.
How much would you guys sell Rashford for?
You know what? I keep changing my mind. If someone comes in the summer, I'm not joking. I need, because of, if it's another English club, if it's an English club, I want 100 million. Yeah. If it's another club like outside, I want 70, 80. Simple as that.
People are saying I'm tapped. I really do believe this will age very well, and you guys are going to be surprised. Tottenham will be the only team.
I remember you said it.
Tottenham will be the only team out of the top 6 that Manchester United would sell to.
Hold on. Right, I agree with that, but can we make one thing clear here? Right, we are talking in the next season or 2. Yeah, I don't want to hear in 5 years' time when Rashford's like 31 and he goes Tottenham and he go. I told you it would happen. Right, we're meaning right now. Rashford, I don't see Rashford's too much of a. Like Rashford will not take a pay cut at his age. Not a chance in hell.
Then the next person is, would they break the bank on Ollie Watkins? I don't see it. Would they break the bank on Ivan Toney? I don't see it. Would they break the bank on any striker in the Premier League right now? I don't see where Tottenham are going to get the striker from that everyone's talking about.
That's why I said the Feyenoord striker. I
but the thing is, even in world football right now, there's a whole question around who is going to get that striker anyways, because there's not actually anything great to the public knowledge. It's always all it is potential. So we're gonna have to hang on that. It's potential, G. Unless you got a hard.
You know what? I don't know how much it'd be, but maybe even a Victor Boniface from Bayer Leverkusen. He's banging this
balling,
season.
Yeah. But again, the brother's not clinical.
Nah, but he's
scoring some crazy goals.
When you said earlier about someone you can mold,
Leverkusen are cooking, boy.
Think about how much
physical, strong, quick, and mold. Like you said, mold.
Maybe, yeah.
He's kind of like Jackson.
I got told Colomani was baby Martial. Look how he's doing at PSG.
That's true.
Hold on. Is that supposed to be a good thing, baby Martial?
Well, the way he's brought the rawness of it, yeah.
Yeah. Bad boy thing.
Oh my God. By the way, you forgot this fucker again.
I know. But do you know what? He likes it there.
Oh,
you know what it is with Boniface? He just reminds me a bit of Balogun, and I think it's the same kind of player, same kind of profile.
How's Balogun doing?
Actually doing all right.
I haven't been monitoring him.
Yeah. And you sold him, didn't you? You sold him, didn't you? You didn't loan him. You sold him.
Yeah, he has 3 goals in 9 games.
I remember he missed 2 penalties in a row from. I remember that game.
Yeah,
he has 3 goals in 9 games.
Yeah, he's doing okay. He's not doing the greatest.
Make sure you are running up the likes as well, by the way. Over 400 of you in here, people. We've done 50 minutes, so please make sure you keep liking, keep subscribing, and make sure you do support Egal's channel as well down below, EGTV.
What are you on now, Egal? How many subs are you on, bro?
I don't know, 26K.
I don't even know anyway. Yeah. Salute to that.
Yeah.
Keep that grind
guys,
going,
yeah,
bro.
make sure you go and hit that up. Arsenal, let's do a little bit on Arsenal because I think it's only right. Egal, rumors, you know what transfer rumors are like. Ruben Neves. Let's be honest, actually. If I'm an Arsenal fan, I would definitely say you need to improve on midfield. I'm going to take away Ruben and Neves away from this. When I look at Arsenal, obviously Granit Xhaka has left. He's had a great season so far at Leverkusen. You've brought Declan Rice in, who has definitely been a very good signing. Yeah, he's balling at Leverkusen, and that's obviously they're doing very well. Xabi Alonso's taking him there. Obviously, he's doing well at Leverkusen, but you've got Declan Rice in, who I think is very good. But for me, how I look at it, and I'm not trying to say your other midfielders aren't good, but Thomas Partey, as much as I really rate him, he's never really available. You've got Odegaard, who is a number 10-ish more player. I know he can play number 8, of course. You've got Fabio Vieira, bit lightweight, but has moments. Kai Havertz not really quite working out. You've got Smith Rowe that you can't see from 2 years ago now because he's injury prone. I just feel like as much as Arsenal have done well in the transfer window, obviously with Timber's unlucky injury, where you're wanting to be, challenging City for the title, going as far as you can in the Champions League. I'm not going to say you're going to win that. I'm just saying get to the quarters, at least represent yourself properly. I feel like you're one Declan Rice injury away from a car crash in that midfield. And I'm not disrespecting the rest of your midfielders, but I feel like if Declan Rice got injured tomorrow for 3 months, Arsenal fans would be like, holy moly. That's what I definitely think. So for me, you need to go out and get a midfielder. Ruben Neves is one of the names linked. Douglas Luiz from Aston Villa, Premier League proven, is another one linked.
Good signing that, I think.
What are your thoughts?
I think, first of all, we got to acknowledge what you said about Declan Rice is not wrong. If Mo Salah...
I've got good knowledge. Thanks, Gal. Cheers, mate.
No.
Same as City and Rodri, bro. Perfect example.
Everybody has players that if they get injured, they have to massively change the way that they play because that player kind of dictates a lot for them. Now, Ruben Neves, there's 2 things. One, I would love Ruben Neves to come to Arsenal on loan in January. Amazing signing. If we could get it, it would be another person who could play in that midfield, help us control games, help us do stuff. He's Premier League proven. He's still quite young, and it would be an amazing deal. But there's another problem. Ruben Neves might not say no to coming to Arsenal, but Newcastle might have something to say about it. The club that currently owns him is the same ownership as Newcastle. So that is the biggest hurdle. The fact that Ruben Neves to Newcastle has been spoken about the moment he signed for Al Hilal is another thing. This could have been pre-agreed that he comes to Al Hilal.
You also could have signed him before he went there.
Yeah. So this whole thing seems like it's just another story to divert away from the fact that he's going to be ending up at Newcastle. I do believe.
What do you think then on the Douglas Luiz one? Is that something that more whets your appetite?
This is the thing, though. Douglas Luiz, Aston Villa must be smoking crack. Because what they think is we're going to give them Emil Smith Rowe plus cash for Douglas Luiz.
Oh, all day long.
Oh,
that's what they want.
Hold on. Depends how much cash.
They want like 20 mil plus Emil Smith Rowe.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
That's yes, all day long.
I'm not getting rid of Emil Smith Rowe.
But what you got to think is the way of it is right now is how much do you need because you got to remember, you're taking a player off of a team that at the moment are fighting for top 5, right? Maybe not. They want European football, right? And at the moment, their position, they'll be thinking, why not? If we go out and spend right in the transfer window, why can't we be pushing to have at very least the Europa League place? But why couldn't we push for that 5th place, right? Why couldn't we? At the moment, with how United are playing, why can we not? If you want their DM and they know you need a DM, they're going to say, well, ultimately, we're not just going to take a player that doesn't start for you, right?
Listen,
we're going to want some money with that as well. Because he doesn't, the truth is, he doesn't start for you, bro. He does, like, it's very rare he features.
Arteta wants to make the move, I'll back it. But right now, personally for me, I think I rate Emile Smith-Rowe on the same, very close to Douglas Luiz financially. Because he's a younger player. He's obviously an academy player. He's grown up the system. He hasn't played much for us over in the last year because of his injuries. So based on that, his value has dropped.
Yeah. But more so, his values. But Igal, by the way, I'm a Smith Rowe fan.
I don't think
I've been saying, Igal, I've been saying all summer that I think for you lot, Smith Rowe should have been given more chances than Havertz. Like, not more than Havertz, but he should have been given some chances.
I hear you.
But ultimately, the key to any transfer is who's after what. Now, if they're coming to you and saying, we want Smith Rowe, then all right, I hear it. But if it's you, man, saying, we want Douglas Luiz,
that is struggling.
Okay, let me replay it.
They're ultimately gonna be like, well, if you, man, want Douglas Luiz, then we want money.
Let me rewind. We want a player. Let me just state this. I'm not saying I rate Emile Smith-Rowe higher than Douglas Luiz. I'm merely saying I think they rate Douglas Luiz a lot higher than we do as a club. They're probably rating him as a 60.
If you're the one,
now being in that Brazil team, you get an extra.
I think they're rating him as a 60 million pound player. And if we were to bring in a Zubimendi, he has a release clause of 52 million. Why don't we just trigger that release clause?
He doesn't want to come to England. He's only reason because he don't want to come to England. That's the hard.
He had an agreement. He had an agreement with Arsenal in January to get a deal done in the summer. In the summer, I don't know why we didn't do it.
You know what?
Those that are doing good as well.
Yeah, they are. I got a take on this year. If they think Emile Smith-Rowe, Arsenal are worth 40, I mean, Aston Villa think he's worth 40 million. And you want to give 20 million for Douglas Luiz, I'm snapping your hand off at that personally, yeah? Second of all, this is what I mean, yeah? What does I look at this January transfer market centre mid for Arsenal as, you need a first teamer? Is Declan Rice going to be your long-term 6 or is going to be a long-term 8? Because for me, Neves and Douglas Luiz are both 6s for me. One's a deep line playmaker, the other one's got a bit of everything and weight. I think Neves 2 years ago had a little something.
Douglas Luiz is definitely a 6.
Yeah, Douglas for me as well. Now, Ruben Neves off the ball.
He can play centre back.
Off the ball, Ruben Neves is slow and he's robust, and I don't like his style of play. This is why I never want him at Man United. His pass, his ping off on the ball is amazing. But I look at what you want to do off the ball, and I'm thinking of someone that can get around the pitch a little bit more, someone that's going to screen your back 4 to allow maybe, let's say, Rice is an 8 to do his thing and do more of that and win the ball higher up the pitch to give to Odegaard. I'm having Douglas Luiz all day long because he's just.
You know what? I think Luiz can play there, but when I actually watched Luiz, I actually think Boubacar Kamara actually is the number 6 for Aston Villa. Luiz plays more like because he's got down.
Yeah, that makes more sense because it just suits the strengths of what they've got at the moment. Yeah. You know,
I'm not saying Luiz can't play
energy, isn't it? No more.
Yeah.
Where's can I say this though? Ruben Neves would be a great signing. Douglas Luiz would be a great signing, but I think the best potential signing we can make in January would be Zubimendi. Will it happen in the January transfer window? I don't know.
You know what is for the last part on Neves? I think if he was a squad option, amazing. I think if you go getting Douglas Luiz, you're talking. That's what I think it is. That's it. There's nothing more to it. I still think Declan Rice, from what I've seen at the moment, because you said I'll eat my words. I'm eating my words currently. In the 6, he's done his best work. So if I was an Arsenal fan, I'd be looking. I want a proper box-to-box type 8. I can't. There's one name that said it that Daps doesn't like, but I can't believe he said it. But Lucas Paquetá just makes total sense.
No, bro. Look.
And we're not spending that kind of money on Paquetá.
Firstly, on Rice, you're right. I think because both of us, we were both strong advocates of Rice in the 8. But here's the key to us saying Rice in the 8. We were saying Rice in the 8 because the best Arsenal midfield would be Partey in the 6, Rice in the 8, Odegaard in the 8, right? It wasn't just about having Rice in the 8. It was that when you've got Partey, who's that good in the 6 role, it makes sense to have play those 3. If Partey is not about 100% Rice in the 6. As for Paquetá, look, I just know from what I've seen, so I don't know, ultimately, I've just seen that City still are interested in Paquetá, but they're not willing to, like, they pulled out very clearly because of the scandal around him, yeah? And their stance is the same. If that gets cleared, we're still interested in him. But we will not be making a move until that is completely cleared. Listen, we are the club known as 115. We do not need any more scandal around our club. So, but Paquetá to City, I've heard, they see him as a long... Yeah, they see him as a long-term replacement for De Bruyne. I've heard, right, that he could come in and he brings that creativity. Look, is he as good as De Bruyne?
Also,
I'm sorry, I'm going to keep the same stance with Musiala until I see it. I don't believe he leaves Bayern Munich. I really don't believe, especially not at the moment with the Euros coming up and the fact that Germany's international team is not in the best of positions at the moment. Bayern and Germany are too closely linked.
Florian Wirtz.
Oh, bro, I'll take him, bro, tomorrow. Yeah.
He's looking better from his injury, actually.
But from everything I hear about that guy is like he's going to cost too much money. But bro,
had a ligament injury at his young age.
Listen. I would be throwing Navas, I would be throwing Kovacic, and I'd be putting some money on top and saying, "Give me that man right now."
I love how you said Navas.
Let me just.
Sorry, not Navas.
Legend though, big up Navas.
Yeah, I didn't mean Navas at all. I meant
Nunes. You meant Nunes.
I meant Nunes. Sorry, Navas.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Get rid of it already. Another one.
Do you guys rate Douglas Luiz as somebody who would come in and potentially replace Partey? Because that's what he would be.
You know what? It's a very good profile. Very good profile, by the way.
I like that he can do a bit of everything. That's how I look at it. Gal, I want you to just give me one answer because I'm going to wrap it up now. I was listening to TalkSport. And they were debating this with Harry Symeou, who's the Arsenal guy as well. If you had to sign one, what are you picking? Midfielder or striker?
Midfielder.
Good answer.
I agree. Good answer.
We'll debate on it more, but I want to leave. We'll just leave that.
We can
score goals. Yeah. The more control the midfield you get, the more control you have of games, the more easier it is for you to create chances and score more goals.
Yeah,
okay, now, good answer. I'm going to save it for a few
%. I agree.
think it's an interesting one. Guys, thank you for watching tonight. Please make sure you do like this video on your way out. Please make sure you also subscribe if you're new here as well. Also, check out Gal's content down below in the description. Obviously, it's international break, guys, but we ain't going to be stopping with content. So if you're new here, make sure you do check us out every day. There will either be a video going up in the daytime or there'll be definitely a video going up in the evening or sometimes 2 a day. So, guys, thank you for watching. Gal, big up for coming on. And me, Daps, and Cass will see you on the other side. Big up.